You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
good
to be here.
So glad to be here.
Always good to see you guys.
Good to have our audience here, too. Otherwise, we'd just be talking to ourselves.
Well, you make a good point.
I mean, I do that anyway. It's nice to talk to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to roll right past that. What do you got for us,
Moving
Victoria?
right on.
Yeah, I'm starting
Victoria,
things
you're
off
starting us
today.
off.
I'm going to talk
Please break
about
the awkwardness.
I'm going to talk about a botanical mystery.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We love a good mystery.
Today I'm talking about the Lusitanian flora.
The what?
Yeah.
Lusitanian flora.
Okay, so it's not about somebody named Flora, and
Right.
it also does not have anything to do with the RMS Lusitania.
Okay, that's
which
helpful.
was
Darn, that was nice.
That's where my
Second.
brain went. I'm
That
like,
was my first guess.
That was a famous ocean liner that was torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland in 1915 during World War I. Lusitania is actually the name of a province of the Roman Empire, which covered much of the western part of the Iberian Peninsula, including most of what is now Portugal and some parts of Spain.
Okay.
I know that.
And, not that this is like relevant to my topic specifically, but it was named after a tribe that lived in the area during Roman times,
Oh, cool.
the Lusitanians.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the name comes from. Okay, but what is the Lusitanian flora? This is a set of plants that are found in only two places, Iberia and Southwest Ireland.
Those are very different climates.
Well, not as different as you would think. The northwestern portion of
Interesting.
Spain is actually kind of cool and rainy relative to the rest of the Iberian Peninsula. And southwestern Ireland is pretty warm, relatively speaking.
Okay.
Is this like a plate tectonics thing we're talking here?
Ooh, plate tectonics.
Okay, well, that's one hypothesis. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
Did somebody carry something that they weren't supposed to?
Another
That's a really
hypothesis.
common thing.
A swallow.
A swallow carried the plants from Spain to
carried
Ireland.
The
They carry
dove
the
carried an
coconut.
olive branch in its mouth. All right. So just backing up a little bit, if you can picture a map of Western Europe in your head, there's obviously like a lot of ocean between these two places. There's
Yeah.
also land where climatically these plants could grow, including southwestern Britain and parts
The
of France.
entirety of France is in the way, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But they don't grow in these places, only in Ireland and the Iberian Peninsula.
Which is bizarre, because usually, like, if it starts in one place, you can see it move from one spot to another, unless it was, like, transported or, like, they were connected or a swallow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
All right. So it includes about 15 species of plants.
So it's not even just one species
No,
of plant.
it's several
multiple.
species. It's a little set.
Huh.
So I'm just going to name a few of them. The one that I had actually heard of before is the strawberry tree or madrone. I saw them growing in San Francisco once, and I was like, "What's this plant? Oh, a strawberry tree. Oh, you can eat it.
Cool.
I'm gonna try." Yeah, not related to strawberries, but the fruits look a little bit like a strawberry. Kind of bland tasting, in my opinion. But anyway. Another plant is the Irish fleabane, which is a sort of daisy-like wildflower.
Yeah, okay.
There's a saxifrage that's known as St. Patrick's cabbage. Another one called St. Dabiac's heath, which is similar to heather. There are actually, from what I could tell, there's one species of Lusitanian fauna as well.
Oh.
Yep, the Kerry spotted slug.
Oh, slugs again. Here we go.
Slugs
Okay.
again. It's a rather elegant looking slug, black with white spots.
Oh,
cool. But this strange distribution of creatures, plants, whatever, has been a topic of discussion and speculation for over 150 years.
Was it the Romans?
Well, these plants were believed to be native to Ireland. They have been believed to be native to Ireland for a long time. And the leading hypothesis, you're a little off with plate tectonics, because
I have a new theory.
Yes?
Is this changing ocean levels? Like there was once land between those?
Well, right. So during the last glaciation, there was more land, although not contiguous.
Okay.
But the hypothesis was that these plants were widespread in Western Europe before the last ice age, but they were largely wiped out when the ice sheets covered most of Europe during this period.
Okay. There we go. So
Iberia was
refugia.
known to have remained largely ice-free, and so the plants survived there. But, so this is all according to this hypothesis. There's this idea that there were what they call refugia in parts of southwestern Ireland that were not covered by glaciers, and that's where these plants survived, and then they repopulated after the ice sheets retreated.
That seems plausible.
Yeah, it seems plausible.
Okay.
Or possibly that this was in an offshore area that was exposed by lower sea levels and then repopulated.
Yeah.
So, there is some evidence that at least some of these plants do have an existence in Ireland dating back thousands of years. For example, there's pollen from the strawberry tree that was found in a 4,000-year-old core sample from a bog.
Wow.
Yeah, that was on the margins of Loch Lean, which is a lake in
Pretty good evidence.
Killarney. And also charcoal from strawberry tree wood that was dated to 4,200 years ago from an island in that same lake.
Cool.
Okay.
However, more recent evidence about glaciation shows that the entirety of the island of Ireland was covered with ice.
Oh, no.
There
Okay.
it is.
And it's all to do with sedimentation and ocean shelves and stuff.
Right.
Sure. Not going to get into the
Doesn't
details.
matter how they know. The point is that that's kind of off
know.
the table.
Refugia,
There's no refugia.
Refugia were not possible. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Animal poop. What's next?
This island in this lake in Killarney. You know what else is notable about this island? It has
a lake on the island.
Yeah.
And an island in the lake.
Island in the lake.
That's a
There it
throwback to a
is.
much older episode.
No, not that. Go look up the episode on recursive islands and lakes, folks, if you're wondering what we're talking about. So it is the site of one of the earliest, if not the earliest, copper mine in northwestern Europe.
Oh.
Huh. Okay, cool.
And it seems to have begun operating at about 2400 BC, or approximately 4,400 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
But that number sounds familiar there, Victoria.
It does indeed. Before the opening of this and other copper mines, archaeological evidence tells us that Ireland was in the Stone Age, and then they suddenly were not.
Well, sure. Yeah, that's kind of how that works.
Yep. Ooh, look at this metal.
And also based on the archaeological evidence, it shows that the people mining here didn't just seem to be kind of blundering around, figuring things out as they went along.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody showed them?
Somebody showed them. They seem to have had
Somebody from
expert
another
consultants.
place?
Yes. So yeah, they had some expert knowledge. They had tools to identify the best sites, process the ore, smelt it appropriately. This led to a very speedy transition from stone tools to metal. So at this point, we believe that there were really only two areas of Europe relatively close to Ireland that already had that kind of copper mining technology. And those were France and Iberia.
There it
go.
is.
Oh, wow.
The circumstantial evidence is pretty strong that it was miners from Iberia who helped kickstart Ireland's copper industry. And it seems
And?
probably brought at least a large portion of the Lusitanian flora with them.
And apparently some slugs?
Well, slugs like to hide away on plants.
They sure do.
All the time.
Wow.
And
That's wild.
it gets even more interesting. So these Iberian miners
There's
most
more,
likely
okay.
brought the strawberry tree with them deliberately. Possibly also, a lot of these other plants, which could have been deliberately or accidentally, right?
Sure, yeah.
Seeds and bedding and that kind of stuff. The strawberry tree, while they did find some charcoal samples of it, was unlikely to have been
Yeah.
imported specifically to make charcoal because there's plenty of
Okay, that's
native
what I was
plants.
kind of wondering that, yeah.
But it could have been brought as a food source. However, it's a notable feature of the fruits of the strawberry tree that even when they're still on the tree, when they're fully ripe, they start producing alcohol.
Ah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. That might be another reason.
Yep. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
they're the source of a traditional fruit brandy, and this would be a very easy way to make moonshine. It's already gotten started. You just need to kind of mash it up, maybe add a few other things in, some water, whatever.
Makes the mining a lot easier.
Yep. Humans being what they are, it seems pretty likely this is the main reason the miners would have brought the tree with them. And another
hooch
plant, the Kerry lily, now seems most likely to date back only to an introduction in the 18th century.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's found only in certain little areas of the Kerry coast, and genetic analysis shows that it likely dates from a single introduction event.
On someone's shoe, probably. Yeah.
300, 400 years ago, whatever. 300, what? I can't. 300, yes.
Great.
Likely by smugglers
Oh.
who were smuggling alcohol,
There it is.
accessing a series of hidden inlets on the Kerry coast to offload their forbidden
my
wares,
gosh.
trying to get around the tax man.
That is fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other plants that, based on genetic spread and stuff, seem to have been introduced a few centuries earlier, likely due to pilgrimage from Ireland to Santiago de Compostela in Spain and back. This is it was one of the biggest pilgrimage routes, Christian pilgrimage routes in Europe. So then people bringing back seeds in their clothing or whatever.
Sure.
Shoes and yeah.
Also, there are genetic links between the peoples of Northwest Iberia and Southwestern Ireland.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Yeah.
That seems like a natural, like you'd be able to find that as well.
Yeah, I was able to find a paper that was looking into this a bit. There's a lot of genetic similarity between the two populations. And based on the genetic analysis, it could be explained by humans migrating from Spain to Ireland in the late Paleolithic or Mesolithic period, which,
I just had an aha moment when you said this. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of genealogy work and stuff with my family, and there's a strain of my family that came from Ireland, and when it shows some of the mixes online where you look at your DNA. I've done some DNA testing. It shows where your family's from,
Yeah.
and it's Norway, Sweden, Ireland, and then there's this small, tiny percentage of Iberian Peninsula. And then you're like, how did that get in there? This is probably how that got in
Yeah.
there. That is so cool.
And northwestern,
fun.
at least northwestern and western Iberia also had Celtic language speakers at that time.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there were cultural connections as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, there is also an Irish myth that says that Ireland was settled by a man called Milesius, or that comes from Mil España, which means soldier of Spain. And the legend is that he arrived 1,000 years before the birth of Christ with his sons and a group of people, and wound up kind of being a founding settler
Wow.
of Ireland.
Interesting.
Yeah. So who knows? That's what I have this week.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you. That's
Victoria.
fascinating.
Yeah. My sources. I had some information from the website antarcticglaciers.org, which was talking about how we know that ice sheets covered Ireland.
Yeah.
Article from the Irish Times called Another Life, A Brief History of Lusitanian Flora in Ireland. The Riddle of Ross Island, Ireland's Enigmatic Early Miners from a website called The Irish Story. And then that human genetic paper is by B. McAvoy and colleagues from 2004 in the American Journal of Human Genetics. And then, of course, I got some background information from Wikipedia as well.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks, Victoria.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it'll be Kirk.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. This week, I want to talk about the greater noctule bat, aka Nyctalis lasiopteris. This is a bat found in Europe, West Africa, and a tiny bit of North Africa. And it's notable mostly because of how it hunts. And Rach talked about fish-eating bats recently, which was wild.
Yeah.
Well, this bat eats something strange as well. Most bats are insect eaters, and for a long time it was assumed that this bat probably was as well. But interesting evidence seemed to mount that showed there might be something else going on. Perhaps they were eating something more than just insects. And researchers studying the guano, or bat droppings of this species, found feathers. Specifically, they found the feathers of blue tits and European robins. Now, if this all sounds like kind of familiar.
Sounds a bit familiar, Kirk.
Yeah, sounds a bit familiar.
Smidge.
Yeah, this is because Victoria talked about this species back in episode 252, which came out just last December. So it hasn't even been a year yet. Why on earth am I talking about this again?
Yeah, we just talked about, we covered this, Kirk.
Yeah, this was when Victoria talked about this, it was a ripped from the headline story because researchers at the time had just done an amazing study that not only confirmed that these bats do in fact eat birds, but if you recall, it was that they actually catch them on the wing. So they're catching birds while they're flying as opposed to just eating them out of nests and things like that, or while they're roosting.
Which is a wild thing to do.
They had the audio evidence, which was so cool.
Yeah, they had audio evidence, all kinds of stuff. And it was absolutely stunning research. They also showed that the bats use a frequency of echolocation that birds cannot hear, which makes them even more effective predators. Like, there was so many really cool things about that. It was a really great story. I was delighted that Victoria brought it to the show. But as it turns out, the story doesn't end there. As so often happens in science, when we make one discovery, it opens the doors to others, and sometimes in very unexpected ways. In this case, it opened a door to the year 1611.
Oh, 1611.
What?
I love time travel. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I know. Specifically, we're headed to the lowlands of what is now the Netherlands in the year 1611. You see,
I think the Netherlands is all lowlands, Kirk.
Well, I guess the especially lowlands.
The very, very
It's literally
low.
what the country's name means.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we find, and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but it would be Jan Bruegel, the Elder. He was a famous Flemish painter.
Yeah.
And one of the top two leading painters that painted in the Flemish Baroque painting style that was popular in the first 3 decades of the 17th century. And he was quite a varied painter. He painted everything from flowers to pastoral scenes, and even apparently grotesque depictions of hell that earned him the nickname Hell Bruegel, which is pretty great.
What
name.
a nickname.
Nice.
I think technically they actually gave his brother that nickname because they thought he was the one who painted them, and more recently they've been like, no, it was actually this guy. So being as this was during the Renaissance, though, there was also like a new interest in science and scientific accuracy in paintings. And so we can sometimes actually identify specific species in paintings of those such as Bruegel's. And researchers recently began to think about the value of these paintings, not as cultural artifacts, but as scientific documentation. And researchers have been looking at paintings to see, like, what can we learn about wildlife from some of the highly accurate paintings that these masters produced. And the fact that many of these works are now being digitally scanned and made available to researchers online has made this sort of study way more practical around the world in a way that it just, you didn't even have access to these. Some of these paintings were, unless they were on display, they were put away in storage. You couldn't see them. It was hard to get
They're
access
in
to them.
private
So
collections and things too.
yeah. So this is like a kind of a new door that has opened to allow us to look at these things. And while doing a study recently, a team of researchers looked at one of Bruegel's paintings called Air. And it was a fairly popular scene. There's like a few different copies that exist out there, both by the artist and by his students, which is so common that students would, make copies of these. And according to the researchers, I'm going to quote here, the paintings represent more than this one singular painting represents more than 60 species, including nearly 40 recognizable native European bird species and 14 exotic ones, and also representatives of domestic taxa as well. So there's a lot of birds in this painting. It's very cool.
That's insane.
I mean, it's called Air, is what it's called.
Yeah.
So what caught the researchers' eye, though, was that one of the creatures of the air that the painting shows is a bat. And looking closely at the depiction, the scientists were able to positively identify the species of bat as none other than the greater noctule bat. So it's really cool that, he painted it in such detail. They're like, hey, I can tell the species of that bat from the painting, which is very cool.
Yeah.
That is
what
very
was even
cool.
more astounding, though, was that Jan Bruegel the Elder painted the bat with a bird in its mouth.
No way.
What?
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, this was like a really big deal last December when we finally learned that these bats eat birds. They do this at night. They do it at altitude on the wing. The researchers who confirmed this were super excited to have made a new discovery to science. Perhaps, though, a Flemish painter in the 1600s beat them to it.
That's so amazing.
Phenomenal. I love
Mind-blowing. Now, the authors of this new report that came out in the journal The Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, they do admit that the painting is not like perfect proof, right? This could be a coincidence. The artist just happened to paint this one specific species of bat and decided on a whim to paint it eating a bird.
Yeah.
But that's like a really odd thing to add in, because no one thought that bats ate birds. So why would you put a bird in this bat's mouth? And it was, the fact that it was this specific species is amazing too. I mean, it could be a coincidence. However, as I said, there was a movement at the time to make paintings more scientifically accurate and kind of include information that you knew. So it could be that he actually witnessed one of these bats eat a bird, or someone else did and recounted the story to him. Either way, it's pretty incredible that this painter beat scientists to the punch by over 400 years
So cool.
by documenting this animal behavior. And the researchers actually think there could be other scientific discoveries waiting to be made in old paintings, and they're actually continuing to look. So I thought this was just a super fun update to Victoria's breaking news story with an update from 400 years ago. This just came out. My sources were Science Alert, who had a story called A 400-Year-Old Painting Caught Bats Eating Birds Before Science Did. And of course, the journal article itself that actually documented this discovery was called Natural History on Canvas. Bruegel knew about bird-eating noctule bats, which appeared in the June 29th issue of the aforementioned journal.
That's so fun. Thanks, Kirk.
That's
so
what I
fun.
got, yeah.
Thanks, Kirk. My
No
God.
problem. I thought that was really fun. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Rachel to round out the show.
All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. So I'm also going to take us time traveling.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Good.
So around 200 million years ago, as the dinosaurs are roaming and really going through their stronghold on the Earth during the Jurassic period. I mean, we do have a whole movie franchise about the Jurassic period, so I hope people have a mental note of where that is. Jurassic, I know. With air quotes, this is an audio medium. Something else was coming on the scene, and unlike the dinosaurs, for the most part, this has actually stuck around into the world that we live in today. So this is something that developed, and more modern species of this developed in the Jurassic period and has stuck around to present day. All right.
Okay.
In the late Paleozoic, they even dominated the understory of forests, with different species reaching absolute huge heights, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Nowadays,
So we're talking about a plant.
Yeah, we're talking about a plant. I'm on a plant kick. Nowadays, there are 18 to 25 species of this plant, depending on the scientists you talk to. Now, we actually, all three of us, have found this in the wild as naturalists. They can be found in fields, marshes, even forests still. However, it's been reduced to a single genus in the family Equiacetae. In the vascular plants, equus, let's talk horsetails, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, horsetails.
Horsetails. So horsetails are a plant. Like I said, they are a vascular plant. So unlike mosses from last week, they actually have a system that moves nutrients and water through the plant. The stem is really the main part of the plant. It has a single large vascular bundle that doesn't branch. So all the nutrients in the water go up and down within that space. The stem is also hollow and jointed, and at the joints it has anywhere from 6 to 40 ridges. It's green. It's a plant. Not all plants are green, which we've shown on this show.
True.
But it also does all of its photosynthesis on the stem.
Right.
Not within the leaves.
Right.
It uses rhizomes that go down pretty deep to root the plant and allow it to grow back year after year, for it is a perennial plant, in fact, which is pretty cool. It's an old looking, like, you look at this plant and you think, well, that was definitely with the dinosaurs. Like, I think of ferns and like giant pine trees, and like, yeah, that they were with the dinosaurs. So they use rhizomes, which we've also talked about on the show. It's kind of like roots, but not actually like roots. It allows them to be able to shoot up new stems, which is pretty cool. And those rhizomes actually go pretty deep, and they're really hard to dig up. The leaves are super thin, and they are whirled around, mostly up on the top of the plant, which reminds people of like bottle brushes or a horsetail, I guess. I don't see it. I don't really see it.
Some of them have like
It's
little,
yeah,
like things that come off the side that still don't look like horsetails, but like at least they're a little bit more sort of hairy looking.
Yeah, so...
Question, Rachel.
Yeah.
If they're doing all their photosynthesis in the stem, what are the leaves for?
So the leaves are kind of... that's a great question. I think they are kind of vestigial in some way. They don't really serve a ton of purpose. They'll collect some water and things, but they don't really...
Maybe
they don't really do a ton.
Respiration or something?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Like, they don't do the photosynthesis. They might do a little bit because they are green, but they're too thin.
Yeah, some photosynthesis, but not a lot.
Not the main source of it for energy and such.
Okay.
What I thought was really cool is the horse's tail itself. When it first comes out in the spring, it actually shoots up a sporophyte first. So the first stem of the season is actually a spore for them to spread out and like reproduce. That will die, and then the and I quote, sterile stem shoots up with all the leaves and such, and that's where it produces its food for the rest of the year and the season. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily produce, it has two different forms that it produces within the same season, which is wild. I thought that was really cool. And there are plants even like I talked about, it kind of grows wherever, but there is one species that is called a water horsetail that actually roots and has the rhizomes in the water. It's one of the only horsetails to do so that still exists to this day, and it grows up beyond the field of the lake to then reproduce and get as much sun as it possibly can. So that's really cool. Now, most of these species of the 18 to 25, whether or not you're a lumper or a splitter, depending on classification terms, most of them are anywhere from 8 inches to about 5 feet tall. Okay?
Whoa, I didn't know they
That's
got up to
big.
5 feet. That's
Yeah.
I've never seen ones that big.
Although probably not as big as the ones in the Jurassic, I'm guessing.
Oh, no. I don't think anything will be as big as the ones in the Jurassic.
Fair.
So that's most of the species. However, there are a subgroup of giant horsetails that exist. They tend to be in more tropical spaces, which makes sense. That means that when they're in tropical spaces, they are evergreen. When they're in non-tropical spaces, more temperate zones, they will die back and then regrow the next year. Records have shown that the southern giant horsetail can be up to 16 feet tall.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hold on a
And-
moment there.
The
16
Mexican
feet?
giant horsetail can get up to 26 feet
What?
tall.
That's a small tree.
Yes, it is. It is.
That's so big.
It is. It's giant, in fact. That's why they're called giant horsetails.
Right.
I was impressed when you said 5 feet earlier. Now I'm
Right?
just like, and then you
You-
keep upping the ante.
When you were impressed with the 5 feet, my brain went, "Oh, Kirk, just wait." So the fossil record, this genre, this order of plants actually used to be much more diverse when it was the Jurassic, and it actually pretty much, like I said earlier, dominated the understory of a lot of forests and such. Fossil records actually show that in later periods, some horsetail species actually could soar to be 98 feet tall or 30 meters.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah. Again, this is a
mind
hollow
boggles.
stemmed plant that
You
uses
have
rhizomes.
broken me, Rachel.
And it gets to be 98 feet. That they did describe it. One of my sources did describe that as that is a tree.
Yeah.
Like they were horsetail trees. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, that's a tree.
Yeah.
Goes to show you that our boxes of categories mean nothing once more. So I just wanted to talk about horsetails today. I have been on a plant kick, and I'm like, have we talked about horsetails? We should. They're wild. They look
They're so
prehistoric.
strange.
They're so cool looking. But yeah, the fact that they can get so tall and just be hollow on the inside is absolutely wild. So my sources this week were Wikipedia, the U.S. Forest Service, and Oregon State University Department of Horticulture also had some great information about horsetails. So I believe that brings us to the end.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We made it.
We made it. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.